Parkies in a Pod is powered by Parkinson's UK, the charity that's here to support every Parkinson's journey every step of the way. Wherever you're from, whatever you need, visit parkinsons.org.uk for more information.
Hi there, the warmest of welcomes to the podcast that preaches Parkinson's positivity. Two Parkies in a Pod. I'm Dave, he's Kuhan. Together we've been members of the club no one wants to join for 26 years. Hi, stranger.
Hello, stranger. Preaching Parkinson's positivity, eh? That's quite a mouthful. Quite a tongue twister for us Parkies.
Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper.
Very good. Can you do that in about an hour's time?
Probably not, no.
No, that's the crazy thing about Parkinson's, right? Or at least at our stage of Parkinson's, hour by hour, it changes, doesn't it?
Minute by minute in some cases, yeah. You're a bit late today. Why are you late?
Yes, well, that's also Parkinson's related because I was in the toilet for a prolonged period of time, shall we say.
Oh dear. Straining,
unfortunately, yes. I was there for ages and it's not pleasant, is it? We're obviously talking about constipation here, which not the most attractive topic to talk about, but it's a reality in Parkinson's and mine's getting a bit worse. But I think you've got a little tip for me there, haven't you, Dave?
Yeah. These are the answer. Dried prunes. You can pick them up at Aldi, dead cheap. Big bag of dried prunes. Pitted and ready to eat, it says. One of your 5 a day. Put them on your porridge, load on your porridge. You'll be going to the loo like nobody's business in a couple of days.
Excellent. I don't mind prunes, actually. I never think to get them, though. I never think to have them either. I do eat a lot of fruit.
You get them at Sainsbury's, the Co-op, everywhere. So dried prunes. And you've been sleeping quite well, I hear.
I have, yeah. Coincidentally, after our last episode, took some of that advice and my sleep's got a lot better. Professor Jane Alty and Professor Dave Clark as well, because I took your advice because I've started napping, which I never used to do, but not quite the 20 to 2 schedule that you've got it down to.
I need me 20 to 2 nap, yeah.
You do, 20 to 2 to 2 o'clock. If you're trying to get in touch with Dave at that time, you've got no hope because that's his nap time and he's quite strict about it. But no, mine's a bit later in the day, unfortunately. I'd love to be able to sleep in sort of after lunch, but mine's more like 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and I'm trying to bring it earlier. But yes, 20, 30 minutes, and I'm completely refreshed after that. When I wake up, it's like a new day, which is quite a contrast because normally my second half of my day goes downhill quite rapidly. So this is just kind of making me a bit refreshed and getting a little bit more on time.
I'm a big advocate of an afternoon nap if you can possibly do it. I know people are working and things and it's really hard to get away and have a nap.
Yeah.
But if you can just find a little corner in your office or whatever, you can paint some eyes on your eyelids so no one knows you're asleep.
Well, I'll tell you, it got me thinking, actually. There's 2 things for me. One is it's a habit, firstly. You've got to train yourself to do it because it didn't come naturally for me. I had to almost force it. And the second thing is I felt like it was the wrong thing to do. I think a lot of people feel like that. But actually, as you heard from Professor Jane Alty, if you need a nap in the middle of the day, and often daytime sleepiness is a huge thing in Parkinson's, then go for it. Just try not do it too late in the day and try and keep it to 20, 30, 40 minutes.
Have you altered your drugs at all?
Well, yeah, and the other thing I've done is I've put slow release back into my medication cocktail. And that's helping me at night. I take it at night and I'm waking up slightly less for peeing as a result. So I used to wake up 3, 4 times a night for peeing, which is quite disruptive, as you can imagine. But now with the slow release, it's more like 1 or 2 times. That and the napping, I'm not sure which is having the most effect, but together, I'm sleeping better.
I noticed you're involved in a video. You posted a video that you're involved in the other day. It's quite interesting about sleeping.
Yes, me and a few other Parkies took part in a video for World Awareness Day and World Awareness Month. And we're talking about our various sleep issues. And I'll play that here, actually. I have very, very vivid dreams. It's almost like I have a different life when I go to sleep. It's like a different character. Often in my dreams, I've got this sort of falling sensation or sensation that I'm out of control. Also, my other senses seem to wake up at night as well. I can feel touch, somebody's touch, or I can feel something on my arms. It's quite surreal.
So how does this poor sleep quality impact and affect your daily life?
If I have a poor night's sleep, which I often do, I'm a lot slower, my physical symptoms were a lot worse. My tremor would be worse. Sleep is our medicine almost. If I have a really, really good night's sleep, I can still now wake up 12 years into this. I can forget I have Parkinson's. It's that powerful.
Oh, wow. Well, I suppose I'm fortunate as much that we have separate rooms, so I don't see the problems that Liz goes through. I remember some of the things that disturbed me was the calling out and the moaning and things like that.
But what is lost is, I suppose, the intimacy of that, because that's gone, because we walk to our bedroom doors, don't we? And then we go our different ways. And so you go to sleep and I go to Parkinson's world.
So what are your dreams like? What do you dream about?
I've got this sort of general theme quite often, and that is of being lost. And I walk for miles some nights, and it's all the places where I used to live, where I grew up. And then there's this growing sense of wanting something, and I realise I need the loo. There might be a loo, but I can't open the door, that kind of thing. And then that's when I wake up and think, of course, I need a wee, and I need it now.
My worst period was the dreams were so bad that I got to a point where I was scared to go to sleep. They were just full of razor-sharp needles coming down from the skies, bed covered in spiders, ants crawling inside my skin, or I'm up against a deadline and it's getting really stressful. It gets more and more complex and I'm failing.
It just reminds me how cruel this condition is, not just for the people living with it, but those that are around us, right? It's interesting to hear you guys, you are in separate bedrooms. One of the things I'm not looking forward to is getting to that stage. There's a lot of things I can forgive Parkinson's for, but not... Excuse me.
Well, it's as though the guilt, and there's guilt on both sides, because it wasn't what you signed up for.
No, it wasn't.
No, I feel for you. I just wish more people with Parkinson's realised that there's something they can do about the sleep problems, insomnia and bedtime hygiene, and it's not something we just have to suffer.
I do believe sleep routine and better sleep routine helps. Not having screens, not looking at your phone late at night, you know. Do you think we should play more of a role and speak up about this sort of thing and these daily challenges and nightly challenges?
I've got a real passion burning about this, if you like. And I think we've just got to go out there and meet it head on and make people listen. We've got over 40 symptoms. Stop thinking of us as old dears sitting in an armchair.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I'd also say I wish Joe Public didn't really focus on my tremor. I wish they understood that actually my tremor doesn't bother me, but my disturbed sleep does.
It was quite emotional, that, Kuhan.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was quite a powerful piece, right? And it's also quite cool how they mixed the animation in with the real life video. I thought it was quite a good way of doing it and quite interesting stories, yeah.
The needles coming down from the sky sounds frightening.
Yeah, Martin was saying he was just scared to go to sleep, but fortunately the medication has helped him. And yes, the sadness of what it does for partners and their sleep routine, and I don't know, I find that aspect quite difficult to deal with. You know, anything that affects partners, I always think, you know, if it's affecting me, all right, I can sort of take that, but when it inflicts itself on our loved ones, I don't know, really resentful of it almost, you know, it's burdening others, and that's clearly demonstrated in sleep, but it's not the case for everybody, right?
No, we've got a lovely message from Steph, who's recently moved into separate bedrooms from her husband, but she says it's worked well for us. She's got these words of advice for you, Kuhan.
Hey, Kuhan. I just watched your video on sleep, and it broke my heart. I wanted to send you a virtual hug, and also maybe offer a different perspective to you, and hopefully some hope. I was diagnosed a few years ago at 48 with early onset Parkinson's, And since then, my sleep's got progressively worse and worse. So now I sleep until about 2 a.m. and then I'm up and down in the room mainly. Also, as you can hear, my voice is croaky. That's again a Parkinson's thing. I've got a gap in my vocal cords, and it makes my voice croaky, and it makes me breathe noisily at night as well. And so, all in all, I'm not a great bed partner. And so me and my husband decided to sleep in separate rooms. We're lucky enough to have a house big enough to do this. And to begin with, I guess we were a bit sad about it. Felt that it's something that's been taken away from us. But then we got used to it, and we both really love having our own rooms. Something really nice about having your own space. Every night we'll read together or listen to a podcast or have a chat and a cuddle, usually in my room. Then my husband tucks me in and off he goes to his room. We're still intimate and love each other very much, but have our own space at night, which usually suits both of us better. So I hope this offers you some help. Hope, because it really is okay. And if anything, it's made me, I'm really excited to see him in the morning. So if he's up first, I hear him downstairs and I go downstairs, and I'm genuinely pleased to see him, or vice versa. If I'm making a cup of tea and he comes down, I'm really happy to see him. We both have a brief smile, a hug, ask each other about how we slept. But it's just fine, everything's fine, and we still love each other very much. So please don't worry about it. If you have to sleep in separate rooms from Helen in the future, everything will be fine. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye.
Fantastic, Steph. Thanks very much for that. Brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah. Slightly different to how you and I have thought of this, right? Because we're dreading the day, if it comes, that we have to sleep apart from our partners, right?
I think that'd be very sad, but at the same time, what Steph was saying, you can have a cuddle before bed and read and listen to a podcast together and then go your separate ways. No problem.
Yeah. Listen to two parkies in a pod and
exactly. That'll send you to sleep.
send you to sleep, exactly. But no, that was quite a sweet message. And any more messages about sleep or anything else, feel free to get in touch with us. How's your sleep these days, Dave?
It's not bad, as long as I have my 22 nap and I wake up a few times. I played tennis yesterday with a guy I used to work with, and I haven't played for a couple of weeks, so I was really stiff afterwards. So I found it quite difficult to get settled in bed. And I couldn't take my socks off last night, so I went to bed in my socks. My wife was already asleep, so I was wearing stripy socks in bed.
Was it one of your colourful pair?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But they were a bit tight, so I couldn't get them off. I looked all right tonight.
If ever there was a reason to sleep in separate bedrooms, I think you've just demonstrated it there.
My socks, yeah.
Now you brought up the tennis, Dave, not me. So I'm going to have to tell our listeners what's been going on, right?
Well, you've won the last three. I don't know what's going on there.
I've won in the last three. I'm on this incredible winning streak, which I haven't had for years now. And it's quite remarkable. And you keep asking me what's going on. And I keep refusing to tell you because I said I'll tell you on the podcast. So would you like to know the secret?
I think what you do is you make sure we time it so I'm off. So my foot's got dystonia and I can't run around the court as much. You prey on me. You're like a lion hiding in the tundra, ready to pounce when I'm off. I think that's the secret.
Are you playing victim here, Dave?
Yes. I'm like a little antelope, ready for the slaughter.
Hardly little. A 6'4" antelope. He's off. He's off. Did that tickle you?
I'm so funny sometimes.
Very good, David. Very good.
Go on.
Antelope Dave. Well, you're kind of half right. I wait until I'm off, actually, before I start playing. Or rather, I time a medication that I'm slightly off when I'm playing, because when I'm on, I get all this dyskinesia and these contorted movements that is caused by the dystonic dyskinesia. So my arms and my hands and my legs get into all kinds of weird positions. And you can imagine for tennis that's not very helpful. So what I find is last few times I just either under-medicate or take my medication a bit later. And that helps with the, I can hold my hand out straight. I can extend my arm for an overhead serve. I can do a backhand properly. My racket, it's not sort of glued to my body in the way that I can extend my arm away from my body. All the things that you need in tennis, I can do without the dyskinesia and those weird contorted movements that my arms and legs do. So I find it interesting because it's a real reflection of my overall life with Parkinson's. The dyskinesia and this dystonia causes me so much grief to the extent I'd rather be off. Now, when I'm off, I've got other challenges. I'm a lot slower. My tremor is much more pronounced, which doesn't bother me when I'm playing tennis, because when I've got a racket in my hand, I can keep going. But the thing that it does present a challenge with is the grip. I can't grip my racket. I don't feel the racket in my hand. I kind of know it's there, but I don't feel it securely in my hand. So that's a bit of an issue, in the same way that, you know, when you're off, when you're shaving or you're brushing your teeth, you can't quite feel the razor or the toothbrush solidly in the grip of your hand. Same with the tennis racket. But I can use muscle memories to work around that. So some trade-offs, but all in all, being slightly off makes me win.
You let me into your secret now. So I'm going to do that myself, and it'll be a fair game again.
Yeah, well, but give it a go. Give it a go, because you can still move around when you're off. We both can, actually. But unfortunately, you took a tumble in the last game, didn't you, Dave?
Yeah, you tried to lob me, and I thought I'd run backwards. And they call it fascinating gait, don't they? Rapid small
That's
steps.
right.
And your trunk sort of leans forward. And I ended up overcompensating and falling on my bum. I've got a massive bruise on my bum now because of that. I took quite a heavy fall. I didn't let on. But you can chase forward as well, can't you, to avoid falling when you're fascination of gait?
Yeah, I mean, I could see you going. That's the thing. You've almost done it a few times before, and I can see you going, and I'm like, oh, Dave. I was almost going to say, don't go for it. But your competitive streak wouldn't give in, and you went for a rather audacious return of a lob shot.
Ungraceful fall, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was very much a parky fall. Let me put it like that. I've seen it a few times before. I was at this dance class a few weeks ago. Claire invited myself and Helen, GP Claire, who was on one of our previous episodes, invited us down to Bournemouth. Pavilion Southwest Dance, I think they're called. Do a great class. I'll leave a link in the show. I saw one guy, same thing happened. I could see him going backwards. I could see those short shuffling steps. He was going back. And I could see he was going for a tumble, and I felt like calling out, and it was too late. And he fell, and it's very much a parky thing, unfortunately. But you got up, you kind of brushed it off, but I think it caused a bit of damage, didn't it?
Yeah, just a big bruise on my bum, that's all. Nothing bad, but I was a bit self-conscious afterwards. My back had taken a bit of a pounding, so I was a bit stiff for a couple of days, but I was all right in the end.
Yeah. On the flip side, I was rubbing it in, wasn't I?
You're terrible.
I'm so annoying when I win. I'm so annoying. What's that?
Your older brother must have been sick of you when you were a kid.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's exactly that.
I've been on such a winning streak, and then you win 3 on the bounce. It rings up Helen and says, I might have to change partners because I'm beating him so much now. But they were very tight games. I think most games went to juice.
They were very tight games, very good games, really good quality of play. But I am so annoying when I win. Honestly, I can feel it myself.
Tell me about it. I was
flying. I was literally walking down the street, and he was like head down, and I was almost skipping down the street. I was saying hi to strangers, and
you're quite manic afterwards.
I was quite manic. And didn't I say to you, there's some moments that people say they don't feel like they had Parkinson's, right? That was it for me. When I was having that kind of euphoric feeling, I could confidently say at that moment, it didn't last, don't get me wrong, but in that brief moment, I felt like I didn't have Parkinson's. So I know I was annoying, but I was actually savouring that moment. You know, you got to savour those times, right? When you kind of feel alive and you can rewind the clock and feel vaguely normal.
Speaking of victories and sport, I went to MC the world's largest Parkinson's walking football tournament, the Sport Parkinson's Cup, the other day. What a unifying, positive day that was.
This was at the St George's...
St George's Park, home of the England team, yeah. It was incredible. There was one guy I was watching, and he was playing in goal, and he kept... Every time he made a save, he couldn't get back up again, so the opposition and his own teammates would lift him up, get him set again, and he'd carry on playing. Just amazing. It didn't matter who won. It was just the taking part of the 24 teams... Over 200 players with Parkinson's, just incredible. People smiling, 74 games played in all, just a fantastic day. And if you want to play walking football, get in touch with Sport Parkinson's and they'll put you in touch with the team.
And they've come out with a little video compilation of the day's events, right? Should we play that now?
This is the 4th year we've done this, and it's grown from 10 teams to 24 teams. Just look around, all the happy faces, the buzz. It just shows what can be achieved for these guys with Parkinson's, some of whom come in on frames and wheelchairs, and to get out there and kick a ball round, it's just unreal.
This is an amazing event for the Parkinson's community to come together in friendship and play some football as well.
Today is also about have time to just to talk to other people and kind of share stories about life, which is always very important.
For so many people with Parkinson's to come together and play the biggest Parkinson's walking football tournament in the world, if you've got Parkinson's, life's not over. You can still come and play in football tournaments. You can still come and be part of an amazing community. It's fantastic.
Last year as a spectator, and it was just so inspirational and fantastic to see. So myself and Luke from Derby County Community Trust joined forces and put a team together to see all these people coming together, having a laugh, being a bit competitive and just having a fantastic day.
The one thing that we do know is that being active can help manage symptoms, whether they are movement symptoms or mood, but also there is increasing evidence showing that it can actually slow the progression of the condition. So it's so important that people find their own active and get out there and connect, because this could really be one of the golden keys that unlocks the secret to living well with Parkinson's.
It's all about turning up, having a great day, meeting a huge crowd of new friends, networks. It's just superb.
It's hugely important to keep active, because while we're working flat out to try and find a cure for Parkinson's, if everybody can stay fit and well, that really, really does help.
2.5 hours of vigorous exercise a week is what the doctors recommend, so this is perfect. Walking football gets the heart rate up, gets everybody active, and brilliant.
We've run Parkinson's sessions for 2 years, and the purpose behind them is for fun, for health and well-being, but we do also have players that they want to play at a competitive level like they used to, but it's still good fun, and they still get to socialise with people that are going through the same thing as them.
This is seriously the best single-day sport Parkinson's event of the year. I know it's corny to say it's like a family, but it very much is like a family. People are meeting up with players that they've met the previous years. Absolutely fantastic.
I was diagnosed last April. For over a year, I've been at home not knowing anything, what to do, how to get on with my life. I was an active sportsman in my day. Now I'm a different kettle of fish.
Sport Parkinson's has created a unique community where we're welcoming, supportive, friendly, competitive but not competitive. Everyone's rooting for each other. Everyone's families are here. It's just amazing.
It's not just the person with Parkinson's that goes through it, it's the families as well. They get to come and see them relive a part of their lives that they perhaps, when they got their diagnosis, thought they could never do again.
After junior school, I don't think I kicked a ball until I joined this club. So when I was invited to join the team and had an opportunity not only to play football that was good for our health condition, but also to have the camaraderie that we've got and meet the people that we've got that are in the same boat, it feels great, absolutely brilliant.
It is so fantastic seeing the whole Parkinson's community coming together on days like this. Everybody's got a huge grin on their face, and they're clearly gaining so much from today.
Just such a force for good, this. Everything about it is positive. More than 200 people from all parts of the country just playing football, getting on, meeting each other, having fun. Lots of smiles on faces. People say you can't smile at your parties. Everyone's smiling today. Incredible. It's a fantastic day.
Seemed like quite an inspiring day all round, Dave.
It really was an incredible day. Met people from all over the place, all over the country. And one guy travelled all the way from Singapore to get there.
Blimey.
For the day. Incredible.
Wow.
He said that he was in a deep depression until he met the walking football community. A team of walking football players went out to Singapore. Annie and all those guys went out. They met this guy and he started playing walking football. It turned his life around, you know. So it affects people in different ways, Parkinson's, but sport definitely helps, and incredible spirit there, and incredible energy. Playing football for 5 hours, which is amazing. So it's funny, there was a guy called Brad who was helping with the PA system. And he said to me, what are you doing tomorrow? Easter Sunday it was. I said, I'm doing a Lego Lamb. He said, oh, I love Legoland. He misheard me because my Parky speech was a bit all over the place. He's always going to Legoland to play with plastic bricks. I was cooking a Lego lamb.
Were you confused? You must be wondering.
I'm very confused, yeah. Not as easy to confuse me these days, but yeah. It's funny because we had a similar experience.
We did,
went to the pub, didn't we?
Yeah.
I was getting the round in as usual. You're first out of the taxi, last to the bar every time.
Oh, right. I don't think so.
So I was getting the beers in, and you wanted an Asahi, a Japanese lager.
Very nice.
And I went to the bar and I said, pint of bitter and an Asahi.
I think that just sums both of us up quite well. Yours is a pint of bitter and mine's an Asian beer, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But you took a swig of it. He said, what on earth have you got here? And it was a cider. He thought I'd said a cider. He said Asahi. So
to be fair, they are quite close. I can imagine being misheard, but it's happened to you a few times, isn't it?
Yes, I'm maybe thinking of doing Lee Silverman voice therapy. My voice is definitely affected, particularly when I'm off. And my speech is very quick occasionally. So I need to get the rhythm back in my speech. When you've been a broadcaster, it's quite hard. You know, I joke about these things, but it's quite hard when people are saying to you, what do you say? What do you say?
Quite hard in the sense it's a certain pride thing, right?
Yeah. And it gets frustrating as well when people say, what did you say? What did you say? Or pretend they've heard you and you obviously know they haven't.
Yeah, not nodding away or they've heard something else. We shouldn't laugh because, you know, it happens to me as well. My voice goes quite quiet, very quiet when I'm off. And we had to take a little break in this recording because you went off and then now I think I'm starting to go off. You know, the whole synchronized on period for recording this podcast, we have to get down to the minute, don't we?
It's a fine art,
It's
isn't
a
it?
fine
Fine art, yeah.
There's a lot goes on in the edit where we try to clean up the speech as well. But yeah, it's the reality of Parkinson's. But, you know, we can understand you loud and clear and hopefully people can understand me. And like you said, when we're both on, our speech is fine. But yeah, I've heard good things about Lee Silverman. So let us know how you get on.
It's quite intense, but I think I'll do it.
Excellent. You've also been elsewhere in the country to the House of Commons, right, Dave?
Yeah, I went to House of Parliament with Parkinson's UK. It was like speed dating with MPs. It was quite interesting. They were trying to get MPs to listen about Parkinson's and Parkinson's UK. So singing the praise of Parkinson's UK, how what a good charity they are and how much they do for the community. And Cure Parkinson's as well, of course, really active. But I thought, what am I going to say to MPs? So I had three things that I really wanted to point out. One, a lot of talk about PIP at the moment. So I wanted to tell MPs how much the condition fluctuates. 1 minute you can be great and the next minute you can be off. And one MP said to me, well, you look fine to me. I said, yeah, but you don't see me when I'm crawling across the floor, wet myself because I can't get to the loo in time. Also the fact the government put in £16 million into research. Asking for money this time is quite hard, I know, but it costs the economy $4 billion a year. So the sooner we find a cure, the more money...
Say those numbers again, Dave, so people can really appreciate the gap here.
Yeah, they put in £16 million last year to research, and it cost the economy £4 billion, the loss of income and loss of tax revenue, all that sort of stuff. So $4 billion a year, and they put in 16 million. Also, I wanted to say that the drugs I'm on were invented in 1967. Man hadn't landed on the moon. Harold Wilson was Prime Minister, still giving the same drugs my dad was on. So
yeah, the drugs were as old as you. Did the messages land? Did you feel like they were going to take action off the back of it?
I felt like we got a few on our side, yeah. Really interesting.
Good on you and all the others that attended. I believe you met Tinsy there as well.
Yeah, lovely Tinsy, a nurse who has Parkinson's. Great girl, really, really fun. She actually said it was one of her life ambitions to meet me, which is quite strange.
Well, I know this actually because she sent me a message on the day and she said,
right,
since I started listening to your podcast, 2 Parkies in a Pod, I wanted to meet Dave and finally I am happy.
Oh.
Dave is so caring. I was struggling a bit to put my coat on. He's the only one that noticed and ran to me, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. He shouted, "Parky to the rescue," and helped me. Bless him. So you left an impression. Well done. Well done.
Lovely lady. Great voice for the community as well. Brilliant. Tinsy, we love you.
Yeah, well done, Tinsy. Great advocate. And talking of MPs in Parliament... and all things Parkinson's, our sister podcast, is that what you call it? The other
Movers and Shakers.
The other Parkinson's podcast. What's it called? No. Our friends at Movers and Shakers have come up with a parliamentary debate where MPs were talking about Parkinson's in the House of Commons.
It was really good to see, wasn't it? It's a shame there weren't many people there because local elections, yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's a first step along the way.
Gets it on the radar, doesn't it?
Exactly. Gets it on the radar and, chatting to MPs and raising awareness of Parkinson's is what we need. So well done, guys.
Well done. We've got some other listeners' messages. Shall we hear them now? Who's first, Dave?
We've got David Connolly, who's dropped us a line. He wants to know about going to concerts and advice on that. So we've got Kim Robertson to voice it up for us.
Thank you both for such an informative and entertaining podcast. I was diagnosed 10th of December 2023, aged 62, after surviving a heart attack 2 years earlier. I am fighting back with Madapar and exercise. My daughter and I have tickets to see CMAT in concert in Manchester this coming October. The last time we went to see CMAT, I was waiting to see a neurologist to discount Parkinson's. But the gig was standing, and after a few hours stood up, I started to lose my balance, and the people around me thought I was drunk. My daughter took my arm and guided me to the bar so I could hold myself up. My daughter was freaked out, and I had to confess I was waiting to see a neurologist. I know Dave goes to see Bruce Springsteen. I have a seated ticket to see Bruce at the new Manchester Co-op Arena in May. CMAT is playing at the Manchester Academy, and they've sent a form to request assisted help to attend the gig. Do you have any advice on how to get the best out of the gig, and also how to prove my Parkinson's diagnosis to the venue, especially as I don't receive PIP?
Go on, Dave. You're a regular concert goer. Give him some tips.
Well, I think the best advice I can give you is get there early and take any support you can get. I find it helps if you take a stick. I've got like a walking stick that I take with me occasionally to concerts, which just alerts people to the fact you've got a problem. And when I'm standing in the mosh pit bit, I tend to stand at the back where the fencing is near the mixing desk so you can hold on to it so you can prop up most of the concert. Right. And proving you got Parkinson's, it's quite easy. You can get one of the
lanyards, sunflower lanyards?
You can get a sunflower lanyard, which alerts people to the fact you've got a hidden disability.
Yeah, or take your prescription or find your original diagnosis letter, which your GP will have somewhere. Request it from your GP, or the NHS app will have all your correspondence.
And also on the Parkinson's UK website as well, there's a great little badge you can get. It says, give me time, I've got Parkinson's.
Oh, yes. And I've got one of these, Dave. It's a, what do you call this? Wristband thingy.
Yeah, rubber wristband job.
Rubber wristband. It says, please give me time, I have Parkinson's. Or the other way around. It's got the Parkinson's UK helpline number on as well, which David mentioned PIP there. Parkinson's UK helpline, a great source of advice for PIP. As I know, because I've been going through the PIP process again, Dave.
Yeah, they want you to prove you've got Parkinson's again, don't they?
Yeah, I have to go through the whole thing again. I came up for a renewal thing, which I didn't realise it was so soon, only 2.5 years after I originally applied. And get this, when you first apply for PIP, you can do it all online. Submit the application online and you get the response online, and I had a video consultation online as well. When the review is due, you can't do it online. It has to be all done by paper, which...
It's quite hard when you can't write.
It's quite hard when you can't write. When I made that point, or rather Helen made that point because she was writing for me, I literally can't write. I can barely sign my name, let alone fill in an application. So she did the whole thing for me. And also, even just compared to 2.5 years ago when I completed the application, I just can't do it now. Like, just my thinking is slowed down and I can't get my words out and I can't get my words on paper. So she did the whole thing for me. Do you know what her reflection was at the end?
Well,
she said it's the hardest thing she's ever had to do. Can you imagine?
It's crazy, isn't it? Really, it drags up everything. Every negative thought, every negative experience you've had with Parkinson's, you have to drag it up on a form. It's horrible.
Yeah, exactly. And it does. Unfortunately, it is what it is for the time being. I know there's a lot of effort to try and change that and make it a bit more accessible for people like Parkinson's and conditions like Parkinson's, quite ironically. And the changing nature of the condition and the fact that it's different for everybody, and a lot of the ailments are invisible, which this process doesn't really cater for. But having said that, most people that apply for PIP get PIP, let's not forget. Most people get the highest amount. And if you need help, Parkinson's UK can actually take your application forward with a very high degree of success.
And in March, the UK government announced the latest plans to reform disability support. Parkinson's UK have done a letter which they want you to sign a letter to stop benefit cuts and fix PIP, which we'll leave a link on the show notes so you can get on board and sign that.
Exactly. And like I said, use the helpline. The number is...
It's 0808 800 0303.
0808 800
0303.
0303. It's like those tests they give you when you're having an assessment, right? You had one recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Counting back.
Yeah, counting back from 70 to 0 and 7s I found quite tricky. I made a mess
do
of
it now.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I'll mess it up. Normally do 100, don't they? And I was expecting them to do 100 back and it didn't work out. So, and naming the 5 things as well, I couldn't remember carrot after a while.
Well, just explain that for people who don't understand.
They give you 5 words that you've got to remember. They do it once, then do it again, and then you do it a third time when you're not expecting it right at the end.
Yeah, after several minutes, right? And
I think mine were apple, nylon, carrot.
There's normally a flower in there.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I just memorised them all because they always use the same ones.
That's cheating.
Yeah.
You're not doing yourself any favours by cheating.
I know. Just be honest in those assessments. That's the key. It's not a pass-fail thing. It's just they need to get an accurate view of you, basically, right?
Yeah, it's quite frightening though when you can't count back in 7s from 70. I was a bit worried. I've got about 4 numbers back, and she stopped me. So I thought, oh dear, that's not good.
Well, you're doing well. You're doing well. Shall we have some more listeners? Shall we have some more listeners' messages?
Let's go for it. Who we got next?
I thought you could tell me.
Is it Martin?
I think it's Martin, voiced by Kim.
Hi guys, delighted you're being supported by Parkinson's UK and we will hear more of you. Amazing. You kindly read my bit about being in Australia, remember the kookaburras? And I mentioned that I had cared for my husband Phil, who had Parkinson's with Lewy bodies and died in 2021 just as COVID was finishing. To be honest, the 2 years before he died were awful. Anyway, I am now a Parkie and painfully aware that I don't want to put anybody through what I went through. Just not sure how I'm going to do that. I have a lovely, loving family and a lovely new partner, and at the moment I am okay, but very aware that that can change. Just wondering if there are others in the same situation, carer turned Parkie, and how they are managing. Best wishes to you both.
So that obviously wasn't... who did we say it was? David or Michael or whoever. So that was Hazel.
Hazel, yeah, who we last caught up with when she was in the outback. By a watering hole. With kookaburras.
Kookaburras. I still can't say it. But yeah, the double whammy of Parkinson's and dementia, and also the fact that she went from carer to Parkie herself. I wonder, and she's wondering if there are other people in that same position. Do you know of anyone in that boat?
I don't actually. My dad had Parkinson's, so we sort of cared for him a bit, but he didn't really want any care when he was back in the day. But lots of Parkinson's runs in people's families. I reckon about 15% of Parkinson's is hereditary.
But that's potentially an understatement of the fact as well, right?
Yeah. So,
I mean, of all the people that you know with Parkinson's, I reckon about, this is not very scientific, but hundreds of people that we know. What would you say, 1 in 3?
1 in 3, 1 in 4, yeah. We're going to do an episode on this quite soon. So.
We are, with an expert in this area. Yeah, I get the genetic factor, but husband and wife, that's a lottery thing, right?
Yeah, hugely so, yeah.
I don't mean to laugh, by the way. Sorry, Hazel.
When she got the diagnosis, it must have been a real bolt from the blue because, once you've lived through it once, you don't want to live through it again, so...
I wonder if it kind of, in a way, puts you in a good position that you don't have to go through that learning curve again. I don't know. I'm looking for small comforts here.
Yeah, maybe you could pick up a few tips from along the way. She sounds like a very positive person, travelling around Australia in a camper van, having a Barbie, chucking another porn on the bun to be Barbie, mate. I've just alienated all our Australian listeners.
We've got quite a few these days as well. So let's maybe...
You great galah.
I might have to edit this bit out for the sake of our Aussie audience.
If you're in the same boat as Hazel, we'd love to hear from you. It might make an episode actually one day. So
yeah, that'd be an interesting story.
Drop us a line.
And talking about dropping us a line, should we have another listener's message?
Go on, let's have some listen.
Hi, my name is Leif, and I live in Sydney, Australia. I only heard about your podcast 3 weeks ago through Parkinson's New South Wales information email. I love your show. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's in late March of 2019. I was visiting my wife in hospital, pushing with my arms on the side bed guardrail. My wife asked why my right arm was shaking and told me that I must go and see our GP. I did that, and the GP referred me to a neurologist who watched me walk up and down the hallway. Immediately after I sat down in his office, he said, "You have Parkinson's." All I knew about Parkinson's was Michael J. Fox and Muhammad Ali. I also knew that there was no cure. It was early days. I could wait to discuss my medication in 6 months. My wife Cheryl passed away with cancer on Anzac Day 2019, the 25th of April. I never told her about me. My grieving for her and the Parkinsons I handled on my own. My adult children had their own work and grieving issues to resolve. 6 years later, I do regret not talking to counsellors regarding the loss of my wife and the Parkinsons. Your programme has got me thinking more about using the expertise of specialists. I could say more, but where would I end? I look forward to your next show, number 44, I believe. I'm 72 today. My wife's 71st should have been the 16th of April. Her passing was the 25th of April, our wedding anniversary 3rd of May, her funeral 6th of May. I don't think I like April and May anymore. Again, thanks for your podcast.
Leif, I'm not surprised you don't like April and May anymore. Thanks for reaching out. It's
Feel for you.
Tough time for you, yeah, really tough time. On your birthday as well.
Yeah, I'm lost for words there. But I'm glad you're taking some comfort from the podcast, and I'm glad you've shared your story as well.
Never shy away from experts as well. If you need some help from someone, get in touch with an expert and they'll help you. And keep listening to the pod as well. We'll try and get as many experts on as we can to help your journey. Thanks very much for all your amazing messages. It must be time for a bit of amazing things, isn't it?
I think so. Cue the jingle.
People with Parkinson's do amazing things.
You're amazing if you ran, walked, supported or sponsored anyone running the London Marathon. A special mention for Ben Carthauser, who broke the world record for a marathon with Parkinson's, finishing in a staggering 3 hours, 4 minutes and 49 seconds. Are you sure? Ben was diagnosed in 2021. He's a walking miracle, running miracle.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ben Carthauser. I'm 47. I live just outside Bristol. I'm married to Sarah and I've got 3 children. I've got George, who's 16, Sam, who's 14, and Grace, who's 12. Yeah, we've always been quite active. I think when I first met Sarah, my wife, I was quite pleased to find out that she was quite keen on just getting outside and being active herself. I've run 5 marathons and over 10 half marathons, and it got to about 2016, and I just started to develop a strange symptom in my right leg, which was really difficult to explain to other people, and it would make me feel like I wanted to sort of stumble or fall over, and I realised I just couldn't run through it. It would force me to have to stop, and for reasons that I didn't understand, I wasn't really able to do anymore. Fast forward to 2021, and I realised I was finding typing, and particularly using a mouse at work, quite difficult. I just couldn't move my finger fast enough. So I went to see the GP, and I explained the weird knee complaint that I'd had a few years before, and the GP referred me to a neurologist. The neurologist put me forward for some scans, and the results of those scans confirmed that my brain wasn't producing enough dopamine, and the neurologist explained to me that that's called Parkinson's disease. So a year after my diagnosis, I was prescribed levodopa, which is a symptomatic med for people with Parkinson's. As long as I was taking the medication, I didn't get the leg complaint. It was a game changer for me because I could run again. My sneaky wife secretly got in touch with Guinness, the Guinness World Records, and decided to see what the fastest marathon time for someone running who has Parkinson's disease. But she did all this behind my back. She didn't actually tell me. So on the 27th of April, I'm going to be running the London Marathon, because I'm running for something like something so important as a world record. I feel has really motivated me to push myself in training. Obviously, the charity is called Cure Parkinson's, and that is the ultimate goal. Yeah, it sort of feels quite fitting for me to be able to try and use what I can do to sort of raise the profile and hopefully raise a lot of money as well.
Well done, Ben. Record breaker. Also, well done, Tom Finch, husband of Ellie Finch, young lady with Parkinson's, and Amanda Palmer, person with Parkinson's herself, and also run the marathon. Quite an amazing feat. Well done, all.
People with Parkinson's do amazing things.
Hollywood star Ryan Reynolds has opened up about how difficult he found it having a parent with Parkinson's. His dad had the condition and was cared for by his mother.
I think people are aware of the physical symptoms of Parkinson's disease, but the emotional tolls, that's huge. It took a huge toll on my dad. Mostly he suffered in silence. He really withdrew within himself.
We stopped having company over, avoided neighbors. It was brutal on him and on me and the boys.
Yeah, I personally found this all pretty painful. For some reason, I found some of these symptoms he was experiencing around hallucinations and delusions frustrating. These symptoms that my father had were robbing me of an ability to create any kind of bridge with him in the future, or any kind of closure with him before he would inevitably pass away. I mean, I found myself kind of pulling away by trying to separate my mom from the situation, which felt hopeless for her. It felt pretty ceaseless.
I can remember waking up in the morning and crying and not wanting to get out of bed. I didn't know what to expect. And it's hard to deal with that on a day-to-day. It's stressful. I didn't know how to be a self-advocate. I was too busy looking after Jim.
Caregivers' fatigue is very real, and how people talk to others about this is important. I think caregivers speaking to other caregivers is essential and important, because it is a tremendous burden for anyone to carry something like this on their own all the time.
It's great to hear a famous voice, right, talking about Parkinson's.
The more people get up front and talk about it, the better, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds has got an amazing profile, brilliant guy, and doing great work for Parkinson's now.
We can't talk about Ryan Reynolds and not mention Wrexham, right? What an amazing feat.
3 promotions in 3 seasons, incredible.
He's the chairman, owner?
He's the owner, yeah, he bought it, yeah.
Talking of promotions, Dave, come on, get it off your chest.
Marching on together, we're gonna see you win, la 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 la. We are so proud, we shouted, la la, we love you, Leeds.
For the vast majority of the population, explain what's happened.
Leeds United in the Premier League next season.
Again.
Brilliant, yeah.
And then likely to get relegated again, I'm sure.
I'd probably imagine so, yeah.
People with Parkinson's do amazing things.
Finally, a big shout out to the amazing Parkinson's nurses who were invited to St James's Palace in London. The event was hosted by the Duchess of Gloucester, who was to recognise 35 years of the role, which all started in Cornwall with the country's very first Parkinson's nurse, Rosemary Maguire. She became the first specialist Parkinson's nurse in 1989. There are now more than 500 around the UK.
Yay, well done. They did an amazing job.
I've got a little idea, actually. What about the Rosemary Maguire Award for Excellence in Nursing, Parkinson's nurses?
Yeah.
Little idea for Parkinson's UK. You can have that for free.
Is she, I don't know, is she still around?
She's not. She's passed away about 8 years ago, which is even nicer to...
Yes.
A memory.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The Rosemary Maguire Award would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. There's the Tom Isaacs Award, isn't it? Similar principle in the research field. I think we should celebrate individuals a bit more in the community.
That's just about all we've got time for. We're going to leave you this video that Kuhan was involved in for Cure Parkinson's. It's quite emotional, just a way to finish off the show, but it's a positive message at the end, Kuhan.
Yeah, it's another great awareness video. We've had a few today, but have a listen to this. I'd say one of the biggest threats to people living with Parkinson's is time.
There are things I can do today that when I wait tomorrow may be taken from me. That prompts me to do everything today that I can do, because I fear I may not be able to do it tomorrow or 5 years down the line.
There's so much that I'd like to do that I'm not going to be able to do. From the things that I love
to the things that we all just take for granted.
It really is just a question of time.
Every day I live with a condition which gets worse.
But we are confident that we are getting closer and closer to a cure. We have made significant progress toward the breakthroughs people living with Parkinson's need. Everything you do is getting us closer to consigning Parkinson's to history. And we are hopeful that before long, we'll be able to give people living with Parkinson's their lives back.
If there was a cure found for Parkinson's, now, it would give me back my future. Time to enjoy myself.
Time with my friends.
Time with my family.
Yes, that one.
Time to live.
With your help, it's just a question of time.
You've been listening to Two Parkies in a Pod, a Parkinson's podcast with Dave and Kuhan. To get in touch, visit the website twoparkiesinapod.com or send your voice notes or emails to hello@twoparkiesinapod.com.